Hi, good morning. Happy Tuesday. We are moving on to 8.4 today, which is finding the area of composite figures. So if you remember back to our discussion last week about composite figures are a shape that is made up of two or more regular shapes. So it could be a square and a triangle put together. You'd be finding the area that those two shapes together make up. So that's what our objective is today. We're going to be looking at it in two ways. One is going to be on grid paper, like we did with perimeter. The other is going to be using formulas. All right, so we will start off with the grid paper type. So if we look at example 1 here, again, we are on page 340. If you look at example 1, you're going to see that we want to find the area. So the way that you're going to need to do that is actually by counting how many blocks you have here. As you know, you can do the area of this, which would be 4 by 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 40. And then you can count up through here to get a total of 45 squares. And then you have to also look at all of these halves. Here they're in yellow, right? Those are half a square. So then you count those as well. And so you can see that you have 2.5 of those. So here they have it broken down, right? And so we just take the 45 full reds that you have, the 5 halves that are the yellow ones, which is 2.5 total. You add those together, you get 47.5. Okay, so remember this is different than when we were looking at just the perimeter where one of these diagonals was actually worth 1.5. Now because it's area, it's just half of that square, so it's half. Okay, so if we look down here, we would be doing the same thing. You can see actually here where I've kind of drawn it out into quadrants, different shapes here. So we have 4 up here. We have this 3 by 2, 4, 6, 3 by 6, that's 18. You can see I did 4 plus 18. This triangle here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then you can see that this is not a perfect where they're exactly halves, so you just kind of have to estimate. So we end up with a total of 15 for that triangle, which gives us a full 37. Okay? All right, go ahead and give this problem a try. Once you finish that problem, you should get about 51 square units. That one should be a little bit easier because these are much more traditional halves. All right? Again, you should get 51 square units for this one. All right, so then we move into, again, using our different shapes, which then would require us to use formulas as well. So if we look at this shape, you can see that this part of the circle is actually part of this rectangle. So we're not going to do the circle twice. We are going to do a rectangle, okay, which the area of our rectangle is length times width. So area is equal to 19 times 12. Yep, that's a 2. 19 times 12. When we do that math, we get A equals 228. Okay? And then we have this semicircle over here. As you can see, the radius is going to be 6 because the diameter here, it's a rectangle, right? So then this diameter over here of the circle is going to be 12, so the radius is 6. So we can put that in, 3.14 times 6 squared over 2. When you simplify that, you get 56.52. 56.52. All right, and so then together, again, we're going to add these up. You have the area of the semicircle, and then the area of the rectangle to get the final answer of 284.52. feet square. Okay? All right. So then, moving into example 3, we have 3 different shapes here. Okay? The first that you can see off here is the area of the triangle. You have the base times the height. Okay? And again, area of triangle is A equals 1/2 base times the height, or base times the height divided by 2, either way. So when you fill that in, you get 1/2 times 4.5 times 11.2. When you simplify, just multiply, right? You get 25.2. Then we get into the 2 easier shapes to figure out the area of. We have area equals length times width for that rectangle, which is 8 by 4.5. Again, that's 8 by 4.5. And so when you do that math, you get 36. And then the last is our parallelogram, which is just base times height. Again, it's this one, base times the height. Okay, notice that the heights are here, gives you a height like that. So we have 8 times 6.7. When we multiply that, we get 53.6. And so then we have our 3 different numbers here. We add them up all together, and you get 114.8 centimeters square. Okay? So then that's the area of that whole figure. When you look at these 2 to do on your own, again, you're going to have one triangle here, okay? And you have a rectangle. On this side, notice what shape is in the middle. It's that circle. And then how many circles is this actually all together? If you were to line these up, how many circles would that be? It'd be 2 different circles. So you'd have to make sure that you have 2 circles in your final answer. All right. Give those problems a try, and then look at the assignment to work on. Please let me know if you have any questions.